Opponent Say Switch is into Galissapod, usually a pretty good Say Switch, however not today trainer. Boston gonna shield once, commit to the fall, rock throw farm down and leave absolutely loaded. Welcome back to the home of Shadow Pokemon. Today we have an epic, incredible battle submission for one of my Discord moderators, Boston. Niantic recently announced that finally we're getting a Team Rocket takeover. That means two things. New Shadow Pokemon, let's go. And secondly, we can finally remove frustration. I'm super hyped for this event. It's my favourite time to play Pokemon Go. And to help you all get super hyped, we are going to be taking a look at some triple shadow destruction. And I mean destruction. Starting the video off, we're going to be looking at one of Boston's sets, which is probably the quickest 5-0 I have ever seen. If I was to make a video just with that set, this video would be about 6 minutes long. Then for the latter half of the video, we're going to be taking a look at a further 10 spicy shadow Pokemon to show you all that you don't need to run meta or run basic bitch Pokemon to win and have some fun. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, Boston is the algorithm confirmed. We lose Shadow Vic into the silly electric fish blink, and you might miss this battle. The opponent Say switches into Golbat, and here comes Rock Throw Sudowoodo. We tank the Shadow Ball like an absolute boss. Back out will return Lantern, and if they don't know, Sudowoodo recently got access to Trailblaze. My god, they're about to find out. We full send the Trailblaze. Trailblaze lands for decent damage. We immediately send back out Vic as the silly electric fish is switch locked. It gets deleted in the blink of an eye. The opponent's final Pokemon is Shadow Beedrill, and to add insult to injury, we're going to debuff them with the Acid Spray. Acid Spray won't do a lot of damage, but it will lower their defense. Out comes Magneton, and a few Volt Switches is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Boston's oppressive triple shadows making quick work of that game. Hello, Quagman, what a lead. The opponent Say switch into Frostlass, and my god, Boston, you sir really are the algorithm. These are not edited battles. This is 5 straight battles. Boston shields up the Shadow Ball, commits to the full rock throw farm down. Quagman going to take double super effective from the Trailblaze. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. They near get one shot. We don't quite manage to get the rock throw farm down. Mud Bomb will be taking us out. Sudowoodo has almost handled 2 Pokemon by itself. Back out comes Vic, one Razor Leaf, takes out the Quagman. It's Charizard in the back. Boston trying to switch out, however the mid game was so quick, we're still switch locked. Charizard dumps energy as the Razor Leafs, despite being double resisted, are chunking. Magneton comes in, we're going to be able to Volt Switch farm all the way down. The opponent can throw whatever they like. Trainer, we've got 2 shields. What are you doing? The opponent full send the Blast Burn, anticipating Boston trying to flex. We don't flex, instead we take the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. Vic finding another victim in the form of a Azumarill. The opponent Say switch into Gliscor, and finally we see something we don't have the best response for. We Say switch into Magneton. The opponent goes straight for the Night Slash. Ouch, that hurt. RNG in our favour as we see no boost. We farm up, fire off the Magnet Bomb. Magnet Bomb goes unshielded, and Gliscor gets absolutely vanquished back to the Pokeball. Shout out to this opponent running a very spicy Shadow Gligar. Gliscor backline, however, Magneton having some fun, forcing a Protect Shield. This isn't the best situation. I imagine we're just going to send in Sudowoodo, use it as a damage sponge. Boston doesn't disagree. He's sending in Sudowoodo. We see the instant no shield deployed. The opponent vanquishes us with the dig. It's now 2 shield Vic versus the Wild Gligar, taking neutral due to their ground flying typing. Boston going to be able to shield once. Razor Leaf farm all the way down. We're already at around a 3rd health. However, that's more than enough to take care of big bad bulky Azumarill. We fire off the Acid Spray. Acid Spray gonna be forcing the final Protect Shield. Azu's health now diminishing in the blink of an eye, and we take that game. In the next battle, we lead Shadow Vic into Shadow Gardevoir. Some Shadow on Shadow crime, but very much in Boston's favour. The opponent Say switch into Galissapod, usually a very safe switch, but not today, trainer. We send in Sudowoodo. Sudowoodo gonna be able to shield once, get the full rock throw farm down, and leave absolutely loaded. Sudowoodo does get the rock throw farm down. We leave incredibly healthy. Back out comes Gardevoir. We fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze force a Protect Shield, but these rock throws are now boosted. Sudowoodo gets the rock throw farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is the ever annoying Steel Snake. The opponent does commit to the Dragon Tail farm down. Boston thinking about what to do. We send in Magneton. The opponent spam the Break-In Swipe like a basic bitch. We tank the Break-In Swipe. This isn't a good matchup for Magneton. However, it isn't the worst as we do resist the non-stab Dragon Tails. We fire off the Magnet Bomb. The opponent invests the final Protect Shield. The opponent going to be forced to throw. Magneton has done its job, Boston. Gonna tank the next breaking swipe doesn't knock out, we bank the charge move, pivot into Vic, gonna be shielding up the breaking swipe. The opponent has now lowered the oppressive Razor Leaf damage. However, Leaf Blade still a very good move and does hit for neutral. Leaf Blade gets Steelix down into the red. The opponent looking for the Dragon Tail farm down. Vic says no, and we take that game. We see Shadow Vic into defense Deoxys. We're double weak to counter in the back, so this is exactly where Boston wants to see it. Vic does resist the counter damage, but we very much do not resist the Psycho Boost. We see Boston invest the Protect Shield. The opponent continue to stay in, so Boston going to fire off the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade either going to knock out or force a Protect Shield. The opponent just sacked defense Deoxys. The Leaf Blade didn't actually knock out, so we got one further Razor Leaf, and when you're using such a slow energy generating charge move, you're going to take all the help you can get. The opponent send out Dugong, holy smoke. Dugong known for its bulk, but Vic was absolutely eating it alive. We send in Magneton. We respect the drill run. The opponent is not baiting. They then send out Drapion. This again looks like game over. We fire off the Magnet Bomb. Magnet Bomb forces the first Protect Shield. The opponent gonna need to throw a crunch to take us out. Boston fires off a discharge on the CMP tie. To be honest, you always want to throw Magnet Bomb in neutral situations, but it doesn't really matter as the opponent does shield anyway. The opponent throws the crunch. We get one shot. Drapion does have residual energy, good to go, so Boston looks like he's going to send out Sudowoodo, force the opponent to dump their energy. The opponent can't actually one-shot us with any one move. They fire off the Aqua Tail. We withstand the damage. The opponent going to fire off the remainder energy. With Aqua Tail number 2, it's now all down to Vic. Vic comes in, gets to the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is resisted, but Vic doesn't care about type-ins, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. I really wasn't joking. That was honestly one of the quickest 5-0s I've ever seen, if not the quickest. Moving on to the next battle. We're going to be using Shadow Alaolan Sandslash with a double ghost backline. A lot of people like to run double ghost, but it's usually with something like an Azumarill in the lead. But Boston, cooking up in his own spice factory, is opting for Alaolan Sandslash. We lead into Swampert. The opponent attempt to catch an Ice Punch or Drill Run onto Galarian Stunfisk. Boston says, thank you very much. You can eat the Drill Run. Here comes Golruk. Shadow Golruk, not often seen in GBL, but it's such a good answer for tanks like this stupid Bear Trap, Registeel, Stinky Binky and Wallface, or Bastiodon and Carbink. For those of you that don't know about my trash talking nicknames, back out comes Swan, but we fire off the Shadow Punch, forcing the first Protect Shield. Boston looks like he's just going to sack Golruk, happy with its contribution and take his 2-to-1 shield advantage. If I was Boston, I'd send in Sableye and go for the classic one shield and farm down. Here comes Shadow Sableye, and that's exactly what Boston's going to do. I'm going to say great minds think alike. We shield up the Hydro Cannon, commit to the Shadow Claw farm down. The opponent says, fuck that, I'm out of here, and we take that game. Sonic the Hedgehog into the Bear Trap. Not the best matchup, not the worst. The opponent can one-shot us with an Earthquake, however they definitely can't if they don't build up for it. An easy tank of a Rock Slide for Sandslash. I say easy, Sandslash, not the bulkiest. Boston overfarms and is going for a very risky Ice Punch bait. Ice Punch does force a Protect Shield, so Boston clearly the best Master Baiter in the world. Boston looking to match shields, we shield at the next Rock Slide. Boston this time is not baiting. He goes for the Drill Run. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. The Bear Trap now left incredibly low. We then pivot into Golruk to catch the Rock Slide. However, it's a Muddy Water. Interesting. Earthquake did receive a nerf, but trust me, please don't run Muddy Water. The opponent send out Azumarill. Golruk not going to appreciate the bubble damage. We fire off the Shadow Punch. Let's not kid ourselves. That absolutely just tickled this very annoying, I would say Mighty Blue mouse, but this one's shiny, so we're going to go with some sort of annoying yellow mouse. We send back out Sandslash. Sandslash fires off the Drill Run. Drill Run does get Azumarill into the red. The opponent commits to the full bubble farm down. In comes Sableye. Boston gonna have to respect the play rough. Or not. We get Hydro Pump. We near get one-shot Sableye. Down into the red. The opponent send out Altaria, and that is going to be a big fat loss. GG's regardless. In the next battle, things still not looking fantastic as we see Alolan Marowak into our Sandslash. We save switch into Sableye and draw out Diggersby. This is pretty much RPS, but not in our favour. Diggersby, aka Thickersby, fires off the Scorching Sands. Luckily for us, we don't see a debuff. Shadow Sableye hits incredibly hard. We fire off the Foul Play. Foul Play lands for respectable damage. Boston then fires off Foul Play number 2 on the CMP tie, getting Diggersby into the red. Due to Diggersby's normal type in the Shadow Claws are double resisted, Boston recognising he's going to be unable to flip switch, just let Sableye go down. Our Sandslash also running Shadow Claw. which is also going to be double resisted, so Boston opts to send in his third. We come into golruk, look for the mud slap farm down, Thickersby makes one further Scorching Sands. We do get the farm down, we're now down a shield. The opponent sends in Swampert. Boston going for that Hail Mary, full send to the Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch does go unshielded, get absolutely wrecked. Back out comes Marowak. Boston looked like he attempted to catch a Bone Club. The catch was unsuccessful. Marowak now into the red Bone Club. Doesn't take us out. We reach the Ice Punch. Ice Punch is resisted, but Marowak running out of HP. The opponent shields up the Ice Punch. In comes golruk, and 2 Mud Slaps is going to be all she wrote. Moving on to the next one. Another dreadful lead, unless the opponent's on Dragon Tail. They certainly are not. They're on counter, so we pivot into Sableye. The opponent answers with Trevenant. Boston throws on the CMP tie. We do not win CMP, so Boston forced to invest the Protect Shield, and we get baited. Not fantastic. Boston does go for an undercharge, but that undercharge is still going to secure the knockout. Now the opponent sends out Greninja. Greninja going to go straight for the charge move. Greninja pretty tough for the entirety of our team, but the opponent goes for the Night Slash. Night Slash doesn't knock out. We reach the Power Gem. Power Gem going to be forcing the first Protect Shield. Tough situation, Boston waiting out his timer, thinking, how the fuck do I win this battle? We send out Alaolan Sandslash. The opponent pivots back out into Haxorus, and here comes golruk. We see the instant no shield deployed. Please don't be a Surf. Holy shit, even a Breaking Swipe did a lot of damage. The opponent at the next Breaking Swipe, Boston invests his final Protect Shield. We then get the full Mud Slap farm down. Boston goes straight for the Shadow Punch. If the opponent calls this is game over. However, the opponent's shield, okay. We're cooking. Is Sandslash healthy enough to survive a Hydro Cannon? Come on, Sonic. You can do it, buddy. Holy shit. 1 HP and a dream. We make the drill run, and Boston is going to pull off an incredibly unlikely dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. Yikes. Our Sandslash is not winning many leads. We see the instant pivot into Sableye, and the opponent answers with Skunk Tank. The opponent did give us an energy lead, so Boston is going to outpace to the Power Gem. Power Gem hopefully goes unshielded, which it does. This is now going to allow Sableye to realign, and we absolutely need to flip switch. Boston shields up the Trailblaze. The opponent has boosted their attacks, but we do resist the poison jabs, so that doesn't really make any difference. We fire off the Foul Play. The opponent just give a switch. They now send out Registeel. Registeel going to be met with the Foul Play, and Foul Play is going to land for heavy neutral damage. Registeel now already down below half health. We then make a savage catch, catching back onto Sandslash, because let's not kid ourselves, it's going to be pretty fucking useless. The opponent then give us a huge energy lead again. Opponent, what are you doing? We land the drill run onto Defense Deoxys and get him down to around half health. Golruk is one of the hardest counters for Registeel, so Boston hiding it in the back. We send back out Sableye, fire off the Foul Play. Foul Play does force the Protect Shield. The opponent again over farming. Boston, just let it go, buddy, and golruk should sweep. However, Boston has other ideas. We shield up the first Psycho Boost. The opponent going to fire off back-to-back, but the debuff Psycho Boost doesn't get the job done. We bank the energy snipe with golruk. Feed me that tin can. Back out comes Reggie. What you going to throw, trainer? Zap Cannon resisted. Focus Blast also resisted. The opponent fires off the Zap. We withstand the damage and take that game. Despite a lot of really tricky leads, we managed to pull off a 4-on-1 set. In the next battle, we see Magnezone, a pretty neutral lead, to be honest. The drill run obviously would one-shot because Magnezone has hardly any HP. However, I have actually used the Magnezone recently in Battlefield or Factions. I don't even know what it's called. That's how much attention I pay, but Magnezone is very, very good. However, for it to perform, you need Protect Shield. The opponent already down 1 Protect Shield. Boston calls the Mirror Shot. The opponent at the back-to-back, we lose CMP. Boston opting to shield up the second and looking to get off his drill run. Is the opponent willing to commit 2 Protect Shields? Yes, they are. The opponent now get the full Volt Switch farm down. In case you needed any confirmation of just how glassy Magnezone is, 1 Mud Slap secures the knockout. Golruk now as a running start, and the opponent has no Protect Shields to hide behind. However, Pelipper definitely isn't something we're looking to see. The opponent is going to outpace the Weather Wall. Boston invests his final Protect Shield. Do we see an attempted catch? Apparently not. We're going to fire off the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch going to land for decent neutral damage, and then we do see the catch. Let's go. Can Sableye Shadow Claw down in 5? Let's see. The opponent actually give up switch, send out their final Pokemon, which is Trevenant, and it's going to be straight in and straight out. Foul play vanquishes them back to their Pokeball. Back out comes the flying toilet. The opponent desperately running out of HP. They fire off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball is going to secure the knockout. They're so low. We're going to be able to Mud Slap Farm down and take that game. Heading into the next battle, finally Alaolan Sandslash hard wins lead. To be honest, the whole team beats Nidoqueen. However, what the whole team doesn't beat is Azumarill. So Boston opts to stay in, as this is our best Azumarill answer. We're going to start unleashing Drill Runs. The first Drill Run does land, and this is where Legacy Shadow Claw comes in clutch. Shadow Claws do hit for neutral, whereas the usual moveset, or the pre-legacy moveset of Powder Snow, would be resisted. Boston fires off the second Drill Run, getting Azumarill down into the red. Boston looks for their farm down, but Azumarill too thick. They make one further charge move. Boston opting to shield. We're going to get the farm down, and we're going to have alignment. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. They send out Metachan. Boston going to fire off one Drill Run, as we're only going to wake one move. Drill Run does do more damage, and it's actually better DPE. Ice Punch just pretty trash. Boston now sends out Sableye to answer this Metachan. We go straight for the foul play. Due to Metachan's Psychic subtyping, even though they're a fighter, foul play does hit for neutral, and Metachan's left deep in the red. Boston instantly clicks the no shield. The opponent fire off the Dynamic Punch, pivot into Nidoqueen, and here comes Golruk. Look at the Mud Slap. Nidoqueen already down to half health. Boston gonna call the Earth Power. The opponent full sends the Earth Power, and that is gonna be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we lead Shadow Alaolan Sandslash into the Ice Queen Frostlass. Another matchup. The Legacy Shadow Claw is beautiful. The opponent clearly core broken, as they say, switch into Tentacruel, which is also a losing matchup. Boston opting to go straight Drill Run. The opponent invests an early Protect Shield. The opponent continuing to farm up. They throw one before the next Drill Run. Sandslash pretty glassy, but we withstand the Scald damage. Boston gonna fire off Drill Run number 2. Is the opponent willing to go both shields down? No, they're not. We take switch and gain shield advantage. Boston is now going to be able to align in Shadow Sableye with Frostlass. The opponent sends out Quag. They look for the Mud Shot farm down. Sandslash says no and fires off the Ice Punch. Ice Punch lands for decent neutral damage. Boston now sends out Golruk to operate as the damage sponge. Sableye with 2 Protect Shields, easily going to clean up. The opponent fires off the Mud Bomb. There's the pivot into Frostlass, and here comes Sableye. Boston with 2 Protect Shields, 2 high behind. The only lose con at this stage is him having a heart attack. But evidently, you already know, as he sent me these battles, he doesn't have a heart attack. And we're going to be able to take this game. The opponent stop attacking. They should top left, but either way, it's going to be a very quick Shadow Claw farm down to the finish. GG's. It's now time to get into the really spicy stuff. Where else have you ever seen Shadow Murkrow? Well, here it is. We lead Shadow Nidoqueen into another Nidoqueen, essentially the bait game. Boston farms up, loses CMP. Boston looking to call the bait, and holy smoke, what a call. Boston, unlike his opponent, not baiting, but does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Get absolutely wrecked. The opponent now send out Umbreon. Boston farms up, looks to catch the foul play onto Murkrow. I have no idea if we tank this particularly well. Decent. The opponent now send out Azumarill. The feint attacks are resisted, but let me tell you, this thing has an incredibly high attack stat. We go for the Drill Peck. Drill Peck lands, getting Azumarill almost down to half health. The opponent look for the full bubble farm down, which they do. Murkrow gonna make the second Drill Peck. The second Drill Peck also goes unshielded. The opponent left on pretty much minimal HP. It looks like Azumarill is going to be easily in one poison jab range. Boston actually sends out Sableye. Imagine the opponent's going to throw the Ice Beam or Hydro Pump, which they do. A very nice play. Sableye gets the full Shadow Claw farm down. We then see the pivot back into Nidoqueen, and out comes Umbreon. We fire off the Poison Fang. Poison Fang goes unshielded. Boston with 2 Protect Shields, 2 hard behind. He's going to start investing them here. We shield up the foul play. Boston continuing to farm up. We go straight for the next Poison Fang. It's not like the early seasons. It's now 6. It used to be much more easy to just spam them out when it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the Fang. Umbreon is incredibly thick, but I think the opponent has sealed their fate with their reluctancy to use their Protect Shield. Boston invests his final Protect Shield. Nidoqueen now looks for the full Poison Jab farm down, and we get it, and Boston takes the dub. Moving on to the next one, we got yet more spice. We got a Water Gun, Marshtomp, and we see a Dreadful lead. We see their pivot into Dragonair, and the opponent answers our Dragonair save switch with the Bear Trap. I'll be honest, Dragonair doesn't really have any bad matchups unless you've got a Fairy using Charm. You can see the Dragon Breath still chunking even though they're resisted, and the Aqua Tails do hit for neutral. The opponent fires off the Rock Slide. We withstand the damage. Boston makes one further Aqua Tail. This will be knocking out or forcing a Protect Shield. The opponent looking to keep alignment as they really want that Venusaur along with our Marshtomp. Boston has gained shield advantage. It looks like he's looking to flip switch. Can we get the farm down? No, we can't, but we can fire off the Aqua Tail on the CMP side. The opponent give up switch, and my god, they're going to be sad. Back out comes Venusaur. They do get the resisted Vine Whip farm down, but Golbat is one of the best walls. The opponent has their own Golbat in the back, and holy smokes, I was thinking, why the heck are you running Water Gun? But evidently Water Gun is going to help in this matchup. The opponent fire off the Shadow Ball, which does do huge damage. We fire off the Sludge Bomb, or Sludge actually, which doesn't do too much. The opponent get the full Wing Attack farm down, back out comes our own bat. Boston gonna call the Poison Fang bait. What a call. Boston doesn't even build up to the Shadow Ball. He just wants the opponent's bat out of it. We fire off the Poison Fang. Poison Fang goes unshielded. Golbat gets the Wing Attack farm down, back out comes Venusaur. Everything is resisted. We are debuffed, but Frenzy Plant still doesn't get the job done. Golbat gonna fire off the Poison Fang, which will be lowering Venusaur's defense. Poison Fang goes unshielded, and the opponent essentially gives up. GG's. For the final few battles, we've got a Legacy Smackdown Tyranitar. But what Tyranitar doesn't want to see is a counter user, as we do take double super effective from counter due to Rock and Dark, both weak to fighting. We save switch into Golbat. This isn't a great matchup as the opponent can hit us for super effective with essentially all of their charge moves. We shield up the Psycho Boost. The opponent then save switch into Dugong. We land the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball rocks Dugong below half health, and Golbat still not done. Gonna fire off the Poison Fang. Poison Fang does force a Protect Shield. The opponent's going to be forced to throw, which is pretty good for us, to be honest. We've got shield parity, and we can come into Ttar, get the Smackdown farm down, and hopefully reach a crunch against Deoxys. With the low defense, Ttar should be able to get the full Smackdown farm down before they make another move. Okay, we're now going to pivot into Marwile. Marwile this time operating on Fire Fang. The opponent banks a charge move. Send out the Flying Toilet. This is just a Weather Ball, but Marwile so glassy. We opt not to shield at the Weather Ball. We're at the Play Rough. The question is, does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Unfortunately, Play Rough doesn't one-shot, but we do get the Fire Fang farm down. Back out comes Deoxys. We've still got one Protect Shield, too hard behind. So is the opponent, and unfortunately we get counter farm down and take a heartbreaking loss. Moving on to the next battle, which is actually going to be the final battle. So if you're enjoying this video, it took me a long time to put all these graphics together. I'd appreciate you smashing that like button, getting back into the commentary. Beautiful lead. Ttar, very good answer for Sableye. The opponent save switch into their Tin Cannon. Here comes Marwile. The big Tin Can gonna fire off a Zap Cannon, fishing for the attack drop. Do they get it? Oh, fucking course they do. However, undeterred, Boston gonna fire off the power-up punch, revamping up his own attack. These Fire Fangs are now returned to neutral. Can Marwile get the Fire Fang farm down? Boston doesn't commit to it, instead opting to throw the second power-up punch. Registeel just elects to let itself go down. Back out comes Sableye. Sableye is going to throw the foul play, but Trainer foul play won't get the job done. Marwile does survive. Boston again going to fire off yet another power-up punch. This is resisted, but Sableye now running out of HP. Marwile's almost taken out two Pokemon. Back out comes Ttar. The opponent's got Venusaur in the back, and in case you didn't know, that essentially is going to be all she wrote. Boston bringing his triple Shadow Spice all the way throughout this video. He is without a doubt one of my favourite battlers in the community, a top battler, a great player, and a good friend of mine. So that is pretty much going to draw to a close today's video. We're going to be back at it with some Ultra League and Halloween Cup in the future. I personally haven't battled in about 2 weeks, but I'm going to make a return, showcasing some of my own battles. So I'd just like to say a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.